I'm a little groggy. I was meditating with one of my clients who's in detention center,
Mm-hmm.
and he couldn't bring headphones to do to do Yinnergy. They couldn't provide him headphones for some reason, whatever. So I said, okay, no worries. We'll just play it through the speaker. Just play it through the speaker on his laptop. So he's like, oh, okay, cool. So he got himself settled and everything. And in my mind, I'm like, you know what? This is a waste of time, but whatever. Let me just hit play. Hit play. I was out. I'm like, oh shit. That can happen with the speakers? I was like, oh my gosh. I was out cold. Oh my god. I came back and mouth water running on my face, everything just I was like, oh man, how was it for you? He's like, I was just here drawing. What? You know what just happened to me? Like nah, yeah, I was just chilling. Just drawing. I was like, oh damn, okay. Yeah, I've been trying to shake it ever since. Oh my god.
What was the picture? Did you see the picture?
It was probably the queen. I don't know. I don't know what that was. With her tilted crown. I don't know.
Where like T.I. just, the set.
Biggie Small. Remember that the Biggie Smalls of the crown?
Yes.
Biggie Smalls is the illest. Yeah, so I don't know. Yeah, he was fine. That was so strong. It was so heavy. I couldn't believe how strong it was. Through speakers. I was like, whoa, that was level 1. This guy's chilling. Yeah, whatever.
That was level 1?
That was level 1.
Speakers?
Oh my god, yeah. It knocked me out.
Morgan, is that what you unlock when you get deeper into Yinnergy? Level 1 is
like, apparently the speaker version is a whole different thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was interesting. So I was like, huh, maybe I can play this through speakers. Still, you're not entraining your brain in the same way, but at least with the resonance, you're probably getting a lot of that through when you're playing it through speakers like that. Like I did experience stuff like that, making it like when I used to make them at my my friend's studio in his basement years ago. When we played it through loudspeakers, it did have that effect. But we had the speakers close to us, and so they had one speaker to one end and one in the other, and it was played out loud. And yeah, we'd feel he'd be like working on the stuff. He'd be like, "Whoa, what is on this stuff?" I'm like, "It's entrainment." He goes, "Wow, this is insane." So I didn't expect that through the laptop.
Yeah.
In that manner, and I was out.
That's impressive. Do binaural beats generally do that?
Yeah, they can do that, but I wasn't expecting it just through speakers like that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like
through laptop speakers. Yeah, because you still have a pattern that's being created and all that. It's just because they're not separated. You're not creating that the entrainment between the two sides of your brain and into the what do you call it again? Olivary nucleus. Yeah, I think that's what it's called. The ovulary nucleus. That part's not happening, but it's still entraining your cortex.
Is it possible that you felt you knocked out because of the environment that you were in, and then it just kind of like maybe took over you? Maybe all these stressful emotions were around, and it finally hit you when you turned on the meditation.
Yo, are you my therapist? Are you trying to like get me to cry?
No.
But he's asking some deep questions here. I don't know. I don't think we'll do that.
My bad. It's a full moon, man. It's a full moon for like a week, and it's shit is crazy. I don't know what's going on, but like,
tell me about this full moon thing. Tell me about this full moon. Why is everyone talking about the full moon like it has such an effect? So what is it about the full moon? What can the full moon do to you?
So my theory is
it does have an effect, but I hear a lot of the magical thinking stuff. I wonder about that. Go for it.
My theory is it hasn't been tested. Okay, so don't quote me or anything. But my theory is, you know how the moon can control the tides, right? It controls water.
Yeah.
So like we're 78% water.
Okay.
So it must have some type of effect on us too, but we just don't know about it yet. That's I've been saying that for years.
What makes you think this is your theory? People have said this. It's written in books.
I'm saying it first.
Your theory. Oh my gosh, his theory. You're kidding me. That's been done, bro. Like people have covered that.
Well, I'm bringing it back.
You're bringing it back. Like bell bottom.
Right? Those are back too. Bell bottoms are back. I don't know what's
Again?
going on.
A third run? Okay.
Yeah. It'll be hard in the winter.
Interesting. But any other theories on that? Because some things, I feel like I'm past the magical stage. Some things just don't make sense on the magical level.
I still think
but I believe, yeah, if it has an effect, on the tides, which it does, all that stuff. Because remember, the moon is revolving around the earth and the earth is revolving around the sun and all that type of stuff. It has effects in that way. But when it starts to get to things like people get more violent during the full moon and all that stuff, I wonder if there's any truth to that, or is it just if it's more sociology, if anything.
I think that's why they maybe even came up with the myth of the werewolf. Maybe.
Well, that's where it comes from.
Yeah.
There you go, Nathan. Like,
see, I didn't know that.
That's where it comes from, Nathan. They're trying to act all innovative and stuff. It's like, Nathan, you're not coming with any new ideas. All this stuff's been that's why it exists.
I'm trying to repackage it, you know? I'm trying to
repackage it, right? Try to remarket and stuff.
It's my idea. I came up with it first.
Right? And that's just one time on shrooms. Wow, I figured it out. Wow, Nathan, you're doing great. Yeah. Yeah, but that's why the story exists. That's where the myth comes from.
I mean, I always think about who was the guy who they put the myth on. Like, what did he do? And just like, Jesus. I mean,
I know, right? Yeah, what happened? That's the thing. Anyone can lose their minds on any day of the week or any time of the month, right? Someone loses their mind on that day on the full moon. People's like, "Yo, it's got to be the moon."
Correlation, not causation. Man.
What was that?
Correlation, not causation.
That's right, right? So,
right? What I love, like what happened there with what Nathan said, or like I've heard that it comes from the tides, and that's just what I've heard. I've totally heard that too. But it's amazing how we tell each other these stories, right? Like, oh, yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense without actually considering, like, is it a direct experience? Where does that come from?
Where's that come from? Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Maybe something in the drinking water. Who knows? I don't know.
Yeah, that's moving too because of the moon, right? Trying to drink that water, and the water's just. He's like, you're trying to drink, you can't even focus. He's like, man, the water's got a mind of its own. It's the moon.
I'm so thirsty.
Moving that water.
I just want to sip.
Can I get a sip? Turn it upside down. The water's still in there. You're like, wow, that's the moon. Nah, that's ice. So you come up with these myths, and they just stick. Like I used to work with a girl not too long ago, but just before the pandemic, and she freaked out every time she saw a crow. She freaked out. I'm like, "Yo, what's your problem? What's wrong with you?" It's like, "Well, there's a crow. Someone's gonna die." Well, like, people die every second. It's not the crow's doing. Yeah, don't get me wrong. The crow likes dead meat. That's what it does. It looks for corpse. That's what it does, and it feeds on that, right? But to believe that her uncle is dying because of the crow that flew around her, like, she'd freak out. Like a crow would fly, she'd be, and you're like, yo, girl, you need to relax. You need to chill. It's not that serious, right? All these myths that we have, man. There's so many Jamaican myths. What's a Jamaican myth I can think of?
Like the duppy, or I'm not a Jamaican.
We call ghosts duppy in Jamaica, right? So there's always these things like if you wear red, duppy won't come around you, that type of stuff. If you take salt and you sprinkle salt around, or just have salt on your body, duppy won't enter the room. And you just buy this stuff as a kid. You're like, oh, okay. You just wear red and you don't wear, and you sprinkle salt and all this stuff. And you feel safe. You're like, oh, okay. Whew, duppy's not going to enter my room. It's like, shut up. That doesn't make any sense. Doesn't make any sense, but everyone just believes it, right? Don't look at, what's another Jamaican myth, a Jamaican superstition. Don't stare at your baby when they're in the crib because the baby will die from a crib death.
I read that one.
Yeah, but the thing is, I never take chances staring at babies in the crib just in case. You know what I mean? When kids were born, I just looked away. You know what I mean? Just in case I'm wrong. You know. But it's insane. Like to even, like, you know, the idea of that, because someone must have stared at the baby in the crib. The baby died. And, you know, that got over that spread over throughout the village, and it stuck. and carried on from generation to generation to generation.
Is there like a thing called early baby death or something? I can't remember the exact name for it.
Yeah, there's a term for it. I thought you were going to come and say that you coined the term crib death. That's yours. Yeah, I came up with that in 2002. And no, that's an old thing, Nathan. That goes way back.
Yeah, they even have myths about
A lot of myths.
Adam and Eve when there was before Eve there was another woman who was
Lilith.
Yeah,
Lilith?
but she was
Lilith?
like
Lilith?
she was kicked out because like I guess they didn't
She was
get
a strong
along with each
woman.
other.
She wasn't taking shit from anyone.
Yeah.
So Adam's like, yo, cut her. No, starting fresh. Give me a whole new wife that's gonna be submissive. Yeah, just give me that wife. I don't want this feminist. I don't want that. Yeah, they got rid of her. They got rid of her. They just like in Pentecostal, you never hear of this woman. All right. I was later on. I heard like a second woman. What? I had to look it up. It's like, yeah, there was apparently a woman before Eve. Right. And then there's that. People believe in the Adam and Eve story like it was a real thing. It was like, no, it's metaphor.
But the thing about it, her spirit is she got so mad. Her spirit, like they contributed her spirit to like killing babies for some reason.
Oh, it goes that far.
Yeah. I read this in some
eh?
stupid astrology book because it has all these fascinating stories about different mythical. It's just fun to read. I just like it because of the stories.
But all of this just because she had an opinion.
Yeah.
I was like, yo, I need you to, cook me a meal. Fuck you. Okay, you know what? You're out of the Bible. You don't make the cut. You can't talk to me like that. Like, this is my story. Like, come on. Come on, help a brother out, eh? Come on. What are you talking about? Come on. So maybe some babies. Fuck off. I got the pill. Why are you doing this to me? Poor Adam, huh? Gotta suck to be Adam. Right? So he kicked her out of the garden or whatever happened to her, and he got Eve. So I'm gonna make a woman out of my rib. That's another one. Women coming out of men's rib being created because of a man's rib. Who come up with this shit? But that's another one. People believe this stuff. I'm not talking about children. I'm talking about grown adults.
Yeah.
Right? So that's the magical stage. And Ken Wilber talks about that in the stages of development that goes all the way up from what's the lowest? Archaic? Is archaic the lowest? All the way up to magical, to mythic, to all the way up to integral. So there's all these different stages. So people are stuck at certain stages of development, and you can choose to do the work and pass these stages, or you can get stuck in a certain stage and be that way probably for the rest of your life. You know that, and everyone's at a stage. No matter who you are, you're at a certain stage. It's about, and everybody naturally goes through the first tier, because there's 3 tiers. So everyone like goes to the first tier, and then after there's the second tier and the third tier. But to get to second and third, that takes effort on your part. And all that. So it's very, very interesting of what magical thinking is, mythical thinking, rational thinking, because rational is also on that level, rational thinking, and then trans-rational and everything all the way up. And all that. So it's pretty cool stuff.
I have got to read this book soon.
You got, like the stuff is so good. When you, like, it's been so thought out, and all the other experts that contributed to all this, and then when you go through it, it starts to make sense, and you start to see where you're at. Because even though you say you're at rational, it doesn't mean you're at rational at every line of development, because you have different lines of development. So, for example, you have a moral line, an ethical line. If you look at the different intelligence, so you would have like a logical line, spatial, musical, interpersonal, intrapersonal, spiritual, all these different lines of development. So you can be really, really high in one line of development and be really low in another line of development. So you can have very, very high intelligence, so that you're on the higher end of that line of development, but you may have very low ethics in another line of development. So to find out where you are, you have to find the center of gravity for you, because you will be at different stages in different parts of your facets of your being. But you have to find your center of gravity to find out where you're actually at.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah, it's really, really cool stuff. And that stuff is separate from states of consciousness. So states of, a lot of people get this stuff confused. You hear things like, if you have a Kundalini awakening, if you have the highest level of Kundalini awakening, all these things should change about you. Your morals will change, your ethics will change, all that will change. And there's that common belief that that's true. When they look at the studies through sociology and all that, it doesn't seem to be true. It doesn't seem to be true. You can have the highest level of states of consciousness, which people call enlightenment, but all your stuff in your psychological stages of development is barely touched. Right?
Yeah.
Barely touched. So now they found out now, after all these years of this research, you have to work on both. They're just two separate lines. You can be high, really high in one, and very low in the other. You can be very high in the psychological stages of development and low in states of consciousness.
Ooh, that's an important distinction.
Yeah. A lot of people don't know this. And there's a lot of people that still don't believe it. It's like, no, that can't be it. No, it can't be it. Yeah, if you have whatever, all these things should change. And I can say for myself, and I can say for other people who've done that, and there's certain things that don't. Some things do change. Some things at the moment of enlightenment, there's things that do change. And but it's different for every individual, because some things, depending on the individual, some things cross and other things don't. Right? And then you're sitting there saying, how comes I still do this thing? Why is that still with me? Ken Wilber explains it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he talks about it. Talks about a lot about where people are at. And you can be enlightened and still be in balance.
That makes sense, because you can have like all the peak experiences that you want, but if your psychology impacts your ability to maintain a certain baseline as a state of consciousness, it's like you're driving with the brakes on.
It's a good way to look at it. You're driving with the brakes on. Yeah.
Because how many years have I been doing this kind of work with consciousness? Like what, 13 years? The last year, when I started diving into shadow work and my psychology, that's when things started to change. It didn't matter how many journeys I took beforehand, it set the stage. But ultimately I was still looping. And what it's unlocking now,
Interesting.
it's like the key that goes with the spirituality, right? Yeah. People tend to dismiss it like, no, I'm just gonna focus on my spirituality, magical thinking.
Yeah.
And so your psychology will impact how you experience this world. So if you want to expand your states of consciousness, then you got to clear out what's in the way that prevents it from expanding even further in the first place. That's
right. Because no matter what state of consciousness you're in, you will interpret that experience based on the psychological level that you're at, psychological stage that you're at.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Nathan, have you met that guy? I know you were around, but I wasn't sure. I'm not sure if you were in the room. Remember that guy used to come in to our program at Sight Beyond Sight claiming he was Jesus? Remember that guy?
Oh, yeah. I remember him. What happened to him? Is he good?
Well, he took DMT and then he said he wasn't Jesus anymore.
Oh, yeah. It's kind of sad. I wanted to meet Jesus.
I guess I'm not Jesus. Yeah, he took DMT and everything. I was told that all changed, because at the time he was taking ketamine. He's taking ketamine, and ketamine is very powerful at the psychedelic. And when he took that, I guess he had the experience, or he may have had an awakening experience. But when he came back, if he's a person that, based on his information, sounds like he was stuck in his egocentric stage. So when he came back, he said, "Oh gosh, I'm Jesus," and he ran with that. And he wanted to meet with people. Remember when he met with us? He's like, "Hey guys, hey black people, by the way, I'm the white Jesus." We're looking at this guy like, okay. Tell me your story.
Didn't he have red hair?
Was that?
He had red hair. He was
either blonde or red hair or blonde hair.
I think it was red hair.
Maybe
right?
red, maybe. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, if I remember right.
I remember,
yeah. So and he was like convinced he was Jesus. But that's the egocentric stage. Right. And then someone came and said, "But Morgan, you do that too. I think you said it." And I'm like, "No, I didn't." And he's like, "Yes, you did." I said, "No, I said everything is God." I didn't say I'm God. I said everything is God. It's like people don't understand the distinction. Oh, Rachel said it too. Remember Rachel? She's like, "Yeah, but you say you're God." I'm like, "No, I've never said I'm God. I said everything's God." And so Was that?
I never said that. I never said that you
Oh,
said
well,
that you're.
maybe you didn't, but it was Rachel was one of the people for sure.
Oh.
Yeah, so I had to make that distinction. He's like, yeah, this guy says Jesus, but how's it any different than your message? Which is very different, my friend. Trust me. Very, very different. Yeah, I don't know what happened to him. I don't remember his real name.
You're just Jesus. Just call him Jesus, man.
Yeah, that's all I ever call. Every time I talk to Stretch, I always ask, yo, so what happened to Jesus? It's like, hey, stop calling that. It's Brian now.
What a come down.
I know, right? Brian
I'm
B.
Jesus.
Hey, don't call him Jesus. What's wrong with you, man? I always ask for Jesus. Every time things go wrong, it's like, I need Jesus right now. Yeah. Geez, I can't remember his name. What was his name? Yeah, I can't remember. But yeah, but that's what happened with him, apparently. So yeah, Jesus.
Jesus.
Thank you, Jesus.
What a belief, though. Like what? Like wow.
Well, the thing is, though, these things are so powerful. They're really, really powerful. But again, like Ken Wilber says, it doesn't matter what state that you go into. You always come back to the state. You always come back to the stage that you left, right? Because that takes actual psychological development. You can't jump these stages, right? But a person at any stage can have any state of consciousness. Right? That can happen. Yeah, that can happen at any level. So a person that at a low psychological stage can have the highest level of a state consciousness. I don't believe they can have the highest level of or the depth of that, because that takes work too. But anyone can have an experience in the line of the waking, sleeping, the waking, dreaming, non-dream sleep, Turiya, Turiya Tita. All right, but also keep in mind that Turiya and Turiya Tita has depth, a lot of depth. There's many different ranges, subtitles within Turiya Tita, Turiya and Turiya Tita, which that takes work to do. I don't believe just anyone can just jump in there and do that at that level without the work. But anyone at any psychological level of development can have any of these experiences at any time. So even if you're a long-term meditator, been meditating for 20, 30, 40 years, yeah, you can hit these lower or higher stages within Turiya and Turiya Tita, but you probably haven't done much work in the psychological department. Yeah, and the other reason why the psychological department is important is because it takes anywhere where you're stuck, especially with the dark shadows, they take up a certain amount of your consciousness. So you need to free the stuff so you can have the consciousness to push you further. Without, if you have too many sub-egos that are broken off your main ego, and all of those have consciousness, it takes away from the amount of consciousness you need to keep moving further. So you need to free yourself up from all those sub-egos that are broken off and stuck in their state. So if you're 30 years old, you may have sub-egos that are stuck at certain ages. So if for Nathan, for example, just say Nathan, I don't know, got caught for stealing cookies from the cookie jar, and his mom beats him for it, and he gets traumatized. And that was at 5 years old. Even though he's 30 years old, that subconsciousness or that sub-ego is stuck at 3 years old or 5 years. Did I say 5? 5 years old. Right? Yeah, his ego, his general ego is 30 years old, but that sub-ego is 5. Right? And then he gets traumatized again somewhere else, ends up in a situation at school, gets beat up or whatever the case is, gets traumatized. That's at 13 years old, 14 years old. Sub-ego breaks off, and that stays at 13 years old while the rest of you is growing up and you're 30, 31, 32 years old, and so on, and so on, and so on. You got to go back and address all the sub-egos that's broken off and it's been traumatized, and address them so that you can integrate them back into your ego, so that you can have the consciousness or the energy needed to move further in your state of consciousness.
Oh man, I've been feeling into that one deeply, and you just articulated it so beautifully, because there's been almost like an acceleration of this process of reintegrating those broken off fragments of myself.
Yeah.
And there's some deep ones I've managed that's like, oh, this used to trigger me all the time, then less, then less and less. And all of a sudden it's not coming into my awareness. All I recognize is this would have triggered me before. And now the level of energy I have to live my life is ridiculous. Ridiculous. I'm like, is this how much energy I was wasting in things that weren't even true?
Yeah.
Just stories I was telling myself, beliefs I was holding on to. Like once you start to see it from further back, it's almost like, because almost like the mechanism of it becomes obvious and it starts to lose its power, right? Because it's your unconsciousness that holds it together.
You see, yeah, you get this stuff. That's why I like talking to you. I tell this stuff to Nathan, he just looks at me and he's like, "Hey, buddy, can I smoke some weed?"
No, I listen. See, the thing is that what I've learned from my
Your personal
30
journey?
years of personal journey, I would say that
Your years on level 2.
Trying to be serious, this guy has jokes.
My 10 years, my decade in level 2. This is what I've learned about my ego and the sub egos and the split.
This is that I've been thinking about it. Like I've been trying to incorporate those split parts of myself instead of denying them. Just bring them in and give them a hug and accept it that it was that whatever happened. That still is you, but you can still do better and learn from your mistakes and just hug yourself and just to be accountable and what else just love the worst parts of yourself, because those parts need love too, and you can't forget about them. Those are the most vulnerable parts of yourself, and just don't stop breaking parts of yourself off. Bring them in so you can be whole again. I don't know. That's
so you can be whole again. No, you said it. Yeah, you said it. See, that's why I hang out with you, because you know your shit.
All right. Wow, it's a compliment.
It's a compliment in my own way. Yeah, it's a
I wasn't expecting it.
You see that when you do good, I tell you that you do good. You know, when you fuck up, I'm like, yo, Nathan. But you know, you've changed in a lot of ways. There were times you call me for like stupid stuff, like say Morgan. Like, remember you used to say some stuff to me that would be like, what? Why would you think that? I can't remember what they were though.
I was like
you don't do that anymore. You used to call me for this stuff because you would worry too much, and you were like wondering, yo, how do you really think of me? I'm like, what do you mean? Like, I know you. You see me as. I'm like, I don't see you that way, bro. It's like, no, but you do. I'm like, no, I don't. Right? And then you're cool. And then weeks later, you just hit me randomly. Yo, so you haven't done that in 2 years.
It's just not like I'm not. I don't know. I got to the point, like at that time I was being triggered by everything and everyone, and I just now it's I just don't like I've gotten to the point where I just accepted everything about myself and not to take everything so seriously to the point where I just lash out. I take a step back and think about, is this reality, or is this am I making it up? And I could be right, I could be wrong, but like I just step back and just center myself and see other people's point of view from their side and my side, and try to step into their shoes, and maybe I don't know, maybe have a point. I don't know, but I just don't. I'm not triggered as much as I used to be, because I've accepted the good and the bad parts of myself, and I'm okay with that. And
yeah, but what's your question? Hopefully you don't freeze this time.
Okay. Let's say you've dealt with your past trauma and you've already accepted everything, and you're good with yourself, but other people around you won't let you pass that particular trauma that you went through? How do you deal with that?
You have to learn to accept that part too. There's nothing, you can't control other people. Right? You can't control other people. It's just the way it is. Look at the people who haven't seen me in almost 20 years. I see them 20 years later, and they're bringing up old shit. Like it happened yesterday. It's like, you know how long ago that was? Man, I've evolved from that. But from their standpoint, it's like everything was frozen in time. And they bring up stuff like, even like my boy Rasul that you did that show with, was it the day before yesterday? They'll bring up stand-up comedy stuff like, yeah, I'm doing the show. I want you to headline the show. I'm like, bro, I don't do stand-up anymore. I know, but you should just do it. Like, bro, because after when I left, I haven't seen Rasul in 17 years. But in his mind, like I was like, Rasul, do you know how many things I've done since the time I've left? Like, I don't think you understand what has taken place since I've left that field. But in his mind, it's like I just left yesterday. And he's like, yeah, you know what? Because he came down to my workplace a few days ago on Monday. He came down on Monday. And he's like, this is great. You're putting on these events for kids and stuff like that. That's really, really good. And all that stuff. I think in his mind, it's like, man, though, this guy has fallen. He's probably not thinking that, but, you know, it's like, you know, but see from that standpoint, like this guy used to be on TV and it's done this and won awards and whatever. Why is he doing this?
You used to be Jesus. Now you're just Brian.
Now I'm just Brian. It must be weird to people. For those who know me from my past, right? Like remember Kay? Like I remember when I saw Kay. Where did I see her? When I bumped into her before she started coming to our programs. When I bumped into her, we were at, I think it was Tim Hortons. I think I saw her at Tim Hortons. And at that point, I haven't seen her in about, at that point, what was it, about 12 years or something like that. So when she says, what are you doing now? I say, yeah, I work with kids. She's like, you work with kids? From her standpoint, there's no way this guy works with children. There's no way. There's none. And when I think back to it, I was like, yeah, she's right. Like, there's no way that guy could be working with kids now. All right. So she was shocked by that. Yeah, that threw her off. So people change on some level.
Yeah. Especially after 12 years. And considering the journey you had.
Say it again.
And especially over 12 years. And then considering the journey that you've had, right?
Yeah. It's like, yeah, people.
Us who have heard some of the stories.
Yeah. And then there's people who I talk to and they said, man, you're still the same guy. You're still the same. Like, yo. Yeah, so, hey, you can't win them. You can't win. You just got to do what you got to do. You know the differences are happening. Well, there are things that change that you notice, and there's things that change that you don't always notice because they're more subtle. You don't really notice it until something happens and you're like, oh gosh, I don't do that thing anymore that I used to do. Yeah, you don't realize that it left. And there's some obvious things, like real obvious things that change. You're like, whoa, right? Because sometimes certain things in your brain gets rewired somehow. And there's other things that you just continue being the same you. Yeah, like, man, like, look, I still insult people. Like, I can't stop doing it, right, Nathan? Like, I can't.
Yeah, every day.
I get a kick out of it. Like, I don't understand how it makes me feel. Like, why would I get rid of it, right? I sleep good at night after I diss a couple of people. It's like, yeah, I feel nice. It was like, yeah.
As he falls asleep.
It's different for everyone.
As he falls asleep, yes, Raul, I never liked you. It's like, your shoes
I love a
are
good
back.
dissing match. Right? Certain things just don't change. Yeah. And there's other things that just do. And people's like, yeah, let's indulge in this conversation. Like, I can't really do that. I can't do it. Sorry. Yeah, I don't have it in me. And there's other stuff where, yeah, the psyche is so complex. Like, we still haven't figured out how, if there was a way, and even if you did find a way to take the whole psyche and give it a good purging, I don't think your psyche would be able to handle that right away. That's why I think it has to do it in steps. It's got to.
That makes sense.
Yeah, because I don't think your psyche can handle that.
Frozen.
Oh
He said
no.
it's Jesus post. Oh, there. Sorry.
I'm back. Right? But I think it's too much for the psyche. You can't, I don't think most people can make that type of transformation in one shot. You got to do it in bits and pieces because it's too much. Because even the bits and pieces, they hurt.
That makes sense because it's a complex structure, right?
Complex structure, right?
You just like blast through it, the whole thing's going to collapse.
Yeah, yeah, and you're done for. All right, so
Mm.
yeah, we all have to be careful when it comes to whatever. Yeah, but the psyche is not even designed to do that. It does it in parts, and also you probably learn to appreciate it more when it does happen in parts. Because as you know, the work is it's difficult, it's challenging, and it's long.
But still worth it.
Yeah, but it's still worth it. Yeah, that's part of the journey. What happened? You got lighting now, so that you're trying to take over the podcast.
No, I just turned on the light. It's dark in here.
So this guy's after my that's what you guys always do. They give you guys an opportunity, you guys try to steal it from me.
I turned on the light. Oh, he's trying to upstage me.
Yeah, he's trying. Got the wave cap on. You could take the wave cap off at some point. You're gonna see all these waves in this air. It's like, whoa, hold on a second. That wasn't part of the deal. Probably already in a suit. Look at this guy.
I'm in my jams. What are you talking
Your
about?
jams. Yeah, it looks like it's made out of silk. Like, what is that?
Oh.
Me over a little podcast. Like, you can start one too, right? You don't have to pick my shit. Only Nathan. Next thing you know, it's gonna have a whole new title. It's not gonna be called Enlighten Up anymore. What is it gonna be called, Nathan?
I don't know. I'm not gonna start one. I'm not trying to do
Light Skin Guru. That's what's gonna be called. The Light Skin Guru. The Light Skin Guru Show, starring Nathan. Guest speaker, Morgan O. Smith. That's funny.
Oh,
what else you got, Nathan?
I
You got all these questions. I feel it.
No, I was just, I'm pretty much done. I got nothing. Nathalie, do you have any questions? I got nothing. Nathalie.
Oh, you know what? Oh gosh, how can we forget this? Darshan on Saturday.
Oh, I forgot about that.
I can't believe you got blessed by the guru twice.
Yeah.
So let's give Nathalie a breakdown. So I took Nathan and a bunch of other people down to see Paramahamsa Vishwananda, a spiritual guru he lives in Germany, and he comes down every so often to perform darshan, to give darshan to people. So he was the guy that I met before I had my big, I don't want to say final, but the opening of all openings. That happened after me meeting this man, Paramahamsa Vishwananda. Yeah, I always have to tell it because when people ask, should you have a guru? Is a guru needed on the spiritual path? My answer has always been no, because most of the stuff I've done, there was no guru involved.
Yeah.
But just the idea of going to see a person, right? If there's any truth to this, and it looks into your eyes for about 20 seconds and lets you go on your way. I did not know that something like that could ever be possible. What happened to me afterwards? It took a while, but 2 months afterwards. But the moment he looked in my eyes, my body already I started to feel like my body was shaking. I could feel my nerves rattling. My heart started like racing out of my chest. I would have these twitches, like these spasms and stuff, like whatever that happened for a 2-month period, and after the 2-month period, on December, boom, broke just from a man looking into my eyes for 20 seconds. Unbelievable. Right? So since then, the pandemic took place, and he had to do them virtually. So Nathan and another guy named Akeem.
He does virtual ones?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
we've gone virtually how many times now? I've done virtually with them at least 8 times. Yeah, probably about 8 times. Nathan's been there probably about 4 or 5.
Something like that, yeah.
Something like that. And Akeem's probably done like 1,000 at this point.
He's part of the crew.
Yeah, he's more spiritual than we are. Like he's there, right? So
Wow.
he came. This is his first time coming back in person since the pandemic. So
Wait,
Nathan
Morgan.
went. What?
Morgan, I have a confession to make.
Oh gosh, you went more than 2 times?
No, I didn't go. I lied. I just
You lied?
I didn't see him twice. I got extra candy twice. I got an extra candy twice. I didn't get to see him twice. I kind of bitched out at the last second. I just only said it for the clout because I just wanted some clout.
I am so disappointed.
I'm so sorry.
You only went once like the rest of us. I'm like, I can't believe this guy. I'm surprised Paramahamsa Vishwananda didn't recognize it. Like, he didn't realize it, you know, like, there was only like 5 black people there. Like, come on. Must have easily picked you out of the crowd. You know what I mean? It's like, this guy went twice.
But I did go online.
I was jealous of you, bro. I was like, yo, I can't believe Nathan went twice.
I did go online. I did go online for the second time, but then because I thought this other woman was doing it too, but then I went into the line. She's just like, I know speak English. I'm like, what? It's like, I'm from Ukraine. I'm like, oh shit. All right, so we had this she tried to speak to me through her phone through like some app or whatever, and I tried to ask her like, are you going into line twice? Because I thought, no, it's my first time. I'm like, okay, never mind. So I bitched out. I looked at him through the corner of my eye as he was giving another blessing to someone else, and I just bitched out and went back to my seat.
You went back
defeated.
to your seat, eh?
But I
And he
did
came
get
back and told us that he went twice.
I had to do it because you're just. I did get extra candy though.
I believe it
got
the extra candy. I don't even know how you pulled that off, but yeah. But we should give Nathalie the whole what that was all about. Yeah, so I think you got the gist of it. What it is. So pretty much, he looks into your eyes for like 20 seconds or so. Usually he puts his hand on your head and he looks into your eyes, but because of what's going on now, he doesn't do all that. It just makes you stand there and you look directly at him. He looks directly at you for a period of time, and then he lets you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. So a number of us went down. I went down. Anthony, Kada, that's her son, her sister Day, Patricia, Candace, and Akeem. I feel like I'm missing someone.
So it's like an event where there's a large screen. It's not a Zoom call.
Oh, in this case, it's in person. And this is in person.
Oh,
we went in person. Yeah, so we went down. We went to the hotel that they were holding the convention.
Put my name in to join the crew as a consideration. Amazing.
Yeah, it was insane. I would have hooked you up, but you're not in the city, so I didn't say.
I would find a way. I would transit
4
hours easy. Oh my God, something like this, I'd walk there. How often you get an opportunity like that?
Well, I feel bad now because it's hard to get people to come to these things, right? I feel bad. I was like, I should have reached out to you. But I was like, she's not in Toronto anymore. I don't see what the point would be.
Okay, now you know.
But I've never invited you for the virtual ones. I'm sure I did.
Maybe once before. Like, I feel like there's something tickling in my brain, but I can't remember well enough to.
Because in my mind, the whole time I was like,
right time.
Oh, okay. Because I'm like in my head the whole time I was like, oh, I guess Natalie's not ready. Okay, she's not ready for this.
Man. Now she is.
Yeah, I guess she doesn't make the cut. I guess.
Like, why do you think of that?
Nathan will take her spot.
I don't know. Looks cool, but
that's all good. I'll definitely invite you the next time, or you can even go on their mailing list and they'll add you.
Honestly, when that woman said no speaking of English, I thought she was just like playing with me.
Yeah.
I didn't know she was like she didn't speak English. I don't know.
Oh, yeah, she was lying.
I just never heard that before. I always heard in the cartoons like no speaking English. Like no.
And she shows you on the app. I've been blessed 2 times. No, it was cool. It was cool. I've told a lot of people about it, and people just like, oh, look at that magical thinker, Morgan. I can't believe he's buying that bullshit. I'm like, I'm telling you guys, like, I didn't believe the stuff either. This is some real shit.
Yeah, that's the funny part of. Oh, sorry, go on.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, it's just,
Oh, sorry. Whoever, someone go.
Okay, I think mine's pretty quick. Do you get a similar experience each time you have this encounter? Or has it been different each time?
They've been different. Like Nathan laughed at the story, but I got to tell the story the way that I interpret the story. All right.
Yeah.
So this was the year before last year. Yeah, I think this was the year before last year. We were on. I was on. Nathan was on. I believe Akeem was there, and I think Shakira. What's her name again? Is it Shakira? Shakira Smith? Is that her name? Nathan?
I
Shakira.
really don't remember.
Oh gosh, why can't I remember her name? And I think it's Shakira. Gosh, she's going to be a guest on here somehow. Like I feel bad. I can't even remember her name. She's going to be a guest here at some point. Shakira, Shaq O'Neal.
Does she do yoga? I really
No,
don't.
no,
I really remember.
She remember there was another Smith in our group, and we used to attack Akeem all the time. And Akeem used to come with this magical thinking bullshit. We used to attack him. We say, "Come on, get your shit together, get enlightened." We used to team up all the time. Shakira, right? God.
I'm sorry. I'm really bad with names. You know how long it took me to learn your name? It took me like 4 months.
And the thing is, I believe him.
I was like, I'm gonna wait till someone says his name.
Ramada, Ramada Maharshi,
Every time I ask you to go, do you have a pencil? Like, I'm just like,
excuse me, Miss. Gonna get a pencil? It's Morgan. Moo. Yeah, let's go with Moo. Let's go with Moo. Only Nathan. Yeah. What was I saying? What was I saying? I forgot. What was I saying? What was I saying? What were we talking about? Online?
That girl's name.
You were telling me about your.
It's hot in here. Oh my God. What was I saying?
You were talking about the group, how the experiences were different each time.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Is it Shakira?
That's right. Being different each time. So all of us were in there. Nathan's gonna remember this. I'm wearing my earpiece, right, as I'm listening to Paramahamsa Vishwananda, and he after he did he did darshan, he said, "Yes, does anyone have anything they want to say? If they have any questions, you know, whatever. This is the moment that you can do that." There's like 500 people online here, right? Like 500, 600 people. So, and it's really, really hard to get his attention because he's just picking random people as he goes. It's really hard to get this guy's attention because there's 600 people there, right? Yeah. So he answered like one person's question and a third person's question, a second person's question, and my earpiece fell out of my ear. So it was falling out of my ear. So I put my hand to stick the earpiece back in my ear. And so he goes, "Morgan, do you have something you want to say?" I was like, "What the?" Right? So I was put on the spot. They unmuted my mic, and I was like, yes, I just want to say thank you so much for what you've done for me. And when you came here in 2019 in September, you changed my life and blah, 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 blah. That's all I wanted to say. And they put me back on mute, right? That same day, I get off, I go to work, and apparently someone at my workplace caught COVID. And it was this whole big thing because he knew he had COVID that didn't say anything and whatever. So he already was exposed to how many people at the workplace. And then he was forced to go and get a checkup, and he came back and said, "I have COVID." So everybody in the workplace had to get tested. And it got to the point where he ended up quitting because everyone attacked him for like minutes. Like, you knew about this, like you knew this, and you held it the whole time. You came to work anyway. And blah, blah, blah. So many people were put at risk, whatever. So people were mad at him. So he ended up quitting. But we all had to go get tested. So we all went to get tested at a hospital. So I was already dealing with some other issues prior. Something was happening to me, but I was afraid to go to the doctor because I was like, oh gosh, what if I find out I have like stomach cancer or something? I don't want to hear this right now, right? So it was on my mind. So out of pride, I didn't go. I didn't go to get a checkup or anything. So now we're at the hospital. We're doing the checkup, we're doing the testings and whatever. I get tested, and it's something just came to me. This is after seeing the day after meeting with Paramahamsa Vishwananda. And the day after, I said, while I was there, I said, you know what? I'm just going to check myself in. Something just in my heart said, I'm just going to check myself in, just because. So I went. So I was there for hours. I was there the whole entire day because by the time I finished getting tested, it was probably like maybe 12 in the afternoon. I was there I was at the hospital till about 11 o'clock at night. So I go to the hospital, I check myself in, whatever, give my health card and all that stuff, whatever. And then finally, 3 hours later, the doctor comes to see me. And he says, okay, we need to check your blood pressure and all that, whatever. So he checks my blood pressure. And he looks at the other doctor like they're talking and they're looking back at me like, I was like, what's going on? And it's like, gosh, how is it? Like, I don't know. I'm gonna tell him. I ain't gonna tell him. You tell him. Man, what if he attacks me? I don't know what. I don't know. You got to do it. You're his doctor. I'm just a receptionist. You tell him. You know, like, I'm sitting there like, what's going on? What's going on? What's up? What's going on? And he's like, sir, we need to talk to you right away. I was like, sure, okay, whatever. He's like, when's the last time you've had your high blood pressure pills? I'm like, I've never taken high blood pressure pills. He's like, you've never taken high blood pressure pills? I'm like, no. He's like, sir, you need to sit down. I was like, what's up? What's up? He's like, you have hypertension. We need to treat you right away. You can have a heart attack at any minute. We need to treat you right away. Yeah. So now they have me, they sat me down. They're taking my blood. He said, take this pill right away. And I was like, oh, okay. I took the pill, whatever. All the stuff started going down. And it's like, okay, he's like, his blood pressure is still too high. He's like, do you have any headaches? Do you feel faint? I'm like, no. He's like, you could have been like this for years and you haven't felt anything? I'm like, no, I'm good. He's like, well, sir, we need to treat this right away. And he told me what my number was. I can't remember what it was, but it was really like off the scale. And it's like, I don't even see how you're even walking right now. So I had to go for a CAT scan. I had to go for ultrasounds. I had to do all this stuff for weeks and all that. And basically what it boiled down to, they said, if I didn't check myself in, who knows what could have happened. I could have, like at any time, could have had a heart attack.
Wow.
Yeah. And this was the day after with Paramahamsa Vishwananda. Now anyone would say, well, whatever, that doesn't mean anything. But it's different when, I'm with Nathan, these guys. I wasn't planning on talking to the guy. My earpiece falls out of my ear. I try to put it back in, and I guess he thought I was putting my finger up, like putting my hand up. And out of 600 people, he picks me. Right?
Oh. It's pretty crazy synchronicity.
Yeah, it was just so weird how it went down. I was just like, you know what? I had to, and I just had this burning desire to check myself. Like, if you know me, I never do that. Like, I'm not doing that. When I say, how long am I gonna wait in the hospital? What, 10 hours? I am not doing that. That's my thing. I'm not doing that. Right. But that day, I just say, you know what? I'm here. Let me check myself in. I just felt that urge to do it. And I did it. And they tell me all this information.
It feels like there was like a fork in the road of your life. And it somehow lined up in such a way that it ping-ponged you away from crisis.
Yeah. Interesting, huh?
Maybe. But
maybe. Who knows? Right? It's just like weird things there's things that's happened now after meeting him on Saturday. I'm not going to get into it at the moment, but just this thing that I was just like, what? That's weird. But it always happens every time I meet this guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like,
I remember when Akeem, he got to talk to the guru, and then it was just like, he's like,
he froze. He's like, Akeem, you may speak. And he started kissing his ass, like, oh my God, I just want to suck your dick right now. He's like, Akeem, you can't say that. Oh, sorry. What I meant was, you should suck my dick right now. I was like, no, Akeem, you can't. Oh, sorry. Maybe oh God, I blew it. Puts himself on mute. It was like, what a disaster.
It was like, I see you in my dreams. Like, all right, next.
See you in my dreams. Like, okay, let's get rid of this guy. This guy's a stalker. I see you in my dreams. All I see is beauty. I was like, what an ass kisser. Like, shut the hell up, Akeem. Go like, Akeem, cut it. I could wear one of your robes right now. Paramahamsa Vishwananda, I could wear your underwear. Okay, get rid of him then. He's gotta go.
Cut! Get him out of here!
I don't know, someone grabs Akeem. He's like, how did he do that? The guy's in Germany. You gotta go. Oh man, that was funny. It's like the moment that one moment he blows it. I kept it all cool, you know. It's like, yeah, I just want to say thank you. So and Keem's like, yo, man, if I could just like take your makeup and put it on my face, if I could just, if I could wear your jewelry for a day, I would if I could. Eat the gravy off your plate, I would if I could. If I could just take a sip of your wine. If I could just lick your face, I would. I'm that kind of nigga. Cut. Edit. He makes me laugh. That guy's the funniest guy on the planet, man. I don't know. He's naturally like that. He makes me laugh. Oh God, he brings joy to my soul every day. Oh my God. The Keem's the kind. He'll lick the guy's footsteps if he could. Like if he anyway. Keem was right there. It's like Keem, okay, yo, play it cool, man. Just play it cool. Only a Keem. That's my boy. I love that guy to death. Oh my gosh.
You know, the funny thing about that experience is that when the guru was about to walk into the room, like it took like 6 or 7 minutes for him to walk in the room. So I sat down, and then Morgan looked at me and she's like, "Get your ass up, man! Why you better get
him? Give the man some respect." He's like the only guy out of hundreds of people sitting down just chilling. It's like, yo, get up! You're gonna make me look bad. Well, the guys come, can you tell when your disciples to please get up? Like, come on, this doesn't look good. It's not a good look. I was like, okay, I'll tell him. David, get up! It's like disrespecting the man. My back hurts. Like, get up. That's up, Nathan.
I never seen a man walk into a room and like hundreds of people just bow in his presence. I
Isn't
never
that
seen
insane?
that. Yeah.
Like I want that. Like I saw like you have a Keem just licking the whole footstep, like just licking the guy's footstep all the way up. I want it all. Eating his roses, everything. People throwing like roses, like petal roses and everything. The guy, like, yeah, I was like, wow, that's wow, that's a lot. That's all, yeah, it was interesting, eh?
Mm.
The mysteries we can't explain, eh?
Oh, I missed that. What'd you say?
I said the mysteries we can't explain, eh?
Yeah, we can't explain. Yeah, it's like, man, because this guy apparently, if you read his bio, they say that he was born enlightened. He reached samadhi at the age of 14, became a guru at 16.
Holy.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah, like it's insane, huh? Like 16 years old, right? People have been following him and whatever, like ever since. If the story is true, it's really extraordinary.
See, this is the problem with spirituality teachers. Like, you tell me with the theory about the moon and the people being reckless on full moons, but you tell me there's a guy, you look into his eyes for 10 minutes and he can change your whole life in like a couple seconds. See, this is the thing I have a hard time with. You know,
I feel you. I feel you, and I was just as skeptical. I hear what you're saying, but I'm the type of guy where if someone brings anything to me, I got to test it. I got to test it to see if there's any truth to it or not. Right? No one's ever brought anything to me to prove that the moon has done whatever that the moon's supposed to do. But people have told me about, there are gurus out there, there's people out there where they can put their hands on you or look at you. There's even claims that you can even look at a guru's picture, and if the moment is right, you can open up just from looking at a person's picture. All these things, I'm like, come on, you guys are you kidding me? You guys are all whack. Like, come on now, really? And I go see the guy, and I'm just like, whoa, okay. Because when you go there, it's not like a Master Lee thing where he touches you and electricity goes to your body. It's not like that. It's very, very, very subtle. So people have gone and say, okay, so that's it. I'm just supposed to like what? Just get touched by the guru? That's it. Yeah, that's it. Okay. They just walk away, right? But for me, that was a total different thing. Because the moment I saw the guru, like the very next day I had like diarrhea. Like I was like in the bathroom like for hours, just right after seeing the guys. Like, you know, it's just all these weird things would happen. You're like, oh my gosh, wow. I should see this guy every week.
Sir, you're gonna have to
who
leave
needs
the bathroom.
brand, right?
Leave the bathroom. The
Leave the
center
brand,
is
you can still see
closing
the guru.
down.
Say it again. I
Center's
missed all
closing.
that. I probably ruined a
center-
joke of yours.
Oh, my bad. I was
good.
gonna be like, you're in the bathroom and the security comes in. Sir, you're gonna have to leave the bathroom. The center's closing down. Just give me a minute.
Just give me a Yeah, like all these weird things starts happening. Like physical stuff, everything, every time I go see this guy.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's very interesting. And it's different for different people. Right? It's different for different people, but you know.
Okay, so
But yeah, I can say from my standpoint that I understand why a guru is needed.
okay, so you've got this guru, and then you've got Master Lee. Like, who else are you hiding in your back pocket?
I got you, girl. Come on,
right
girl.
here.
That's all I need in my life.
Excuse me.
Nice
You forgot about the light-skinned guru.
What about
Nathan.
him? What about him?
Nathan.
I
Nathan.
don't know what you're talking about. What about him?
Word? Okay. All right.
Yeah, who is that guy? He doesn't make me run to the bathroom. You need a guy like Nathan. I'll suck your dick. You can suck mine. I'll lick your boogers. It's like, gee, cut it, man. He's the perfect disciple.
Oh, the way he was dancing when the music was playing, that was the funniest shit.
You know what's funny about it? All the South Asians that were in the room, they had to check themselves. They were just like, what the? This guy's more South Asian than I am. Crazy. All the disciples, I think they're all in doubt. It's like, yo, I'm not a real disciple. This guy is much more committed than I am. He went off. Like he came prepared. Like he came dressed the part, everything. I'm like, has he been here before? He had the attire. He had everything. And as soon as the music struck, he was up there. He was killing it. Just going off and just, I'm feeling it. Pull that dick out. And everyone was just like, he was in it. I've never seen someone so committed to like that's the guy. That's the dude.
It wasn't for like 2 minutes. It was like 10 minutes.
It was
straight.
like 10, 15 minutes straight. He was in it, man. I was like, yeah, that's the guy I want at my concerts. Yeah. Yeah, he was in it, man. That was interesting to see. That's a keen for you though. He's always been like that.
Oh, man.
Always like that. Yeah, it's my boy. We're gonna have him back again the second time, so we can take shots at him about that day. It'd be so fun. Yeah.
I'm gonna have to leave in 10 minutes.
I don't want to.
I don't want to. This is actually,
He
really
has
fun.
to. Nathan has to leave apparently to go do his comedy show. His little shows. Yeah, it's like nobody loves this guy more than we do. He's gonna leave us to go.
I'm sorry, it's just this is the first time I'm actually in a club, like a club.
No, that's really good though. This is your first time, right? Which comedy club?
That's awesome.
Absolutely.
No, I'm at the comedy bar.
A comedy bar. Yeah. That's really good.
Yeah.
Comedy bar.
Yeah, a lot of strange things have been happening ever since I saw Dr. Lee and the Guru. So like, it's just
Paramahamsa
like,
Vishwananda. Come on, say
yeah.
the name.
I don't know the
Vishwananda. Come on,
I
you
said,
can say it, buddy. Paramahamsa Vishwananda.
That's
Come
so
on,
hard.
Paramahamsa Vishwananda. More. Rub it up.
You make me sound like I'm the Tin Man from Wizard of Oz or something. Like it just rained. It's like,
Like try to say the man's name. Paramahamsa Vishwananda. Come on.
That's all I got. I'm sorry. I can't.
Oh, you got it. That's funny. See, it took here. Oh, here's a story. Here's a story. Because the first 2 years after meeting him, and I've met him how many times after that, I couldn't say his name either. I had a hard time. It's like, how do I say this, right? So I had to break it up into parts and learn each part so I can say Paramahamsa Vishwananda. So I put it into like a song. So every time I'd be meditating, I'm doing my mudra, and I sit there and I say Paramahamsa Vishwananda, Paramahamsa Vishwananda, Paramahamsa. I do this for like over and over again for the whole hour. By the third day, I'm Paramahamsa Vishwananda, Paramahamsa Vishwananda. Paramahamsa pops into my brain, into my body, looks around in my room, and then pops out of my body.
Wow.
My body shut down, and all was present in my body was Paramahamsa Vishwananda in my body. He looks around, he's like, this is some bullshit, and he bounced. True story. Yeah, it was insane. And after he left my body, I was like, what the F? Right?
That door was unlocked.
I know. Yeah, it was insane. And I just went normal. I just went Paramahamsa Vishwananda, Paramahamsa Vishwananda, Paramahamsa. I'm not gonna do that anymore. Paramahamsa Vishwananda, Paramahamsa. Yeah, that was insane. Yeah. It was a Friday afternoon. It was a Friday morning, I should say. It was a Friday morning. I told the story in the thing, in Sight Beyond Sight. I was trying to tell the story in Sight Beyond Sight. And whatever. But yeah, that's what happened on that day.
Just popped in. This ain't my house.
This ain't, yeah. What is this? I don't live in the ghetto. And he bounced. Yeah, but that's what happened. True story, man. True story. That's why I said, well, what else is going on with this guy? But every time I see him, he acts like he doesn't know me. That's the thing I don't get. Like, like now you've been in my house, you get my food. So it is what it is, you know. Sometimes people have to, you know, act like they don't know they don't know anybody. So it is what it is. It was cool though.
Were you saying it out loud or were you saying it in your head?
Saying it in my head. Yeah, okay. But when I'm not meditating, I'd say it out loud. So if I'm walking throughout the day, I'd be like Paramahamsa Vishwananda, Paramahamsa. I just do crazy stuff like Paramahamsa Vishwananda, Paramahamsa Vishwananda. I just over and over again. And then when I'm meditating, I just do it in my head. Paramahamsa Vishwananda, Paramahamsa Vishwananda. The guy pops in. I was like, what? I step back, he comes forward, looks in my room. God.
There was something to see here. He called me for 3 days.
Yeah, he called me. Like, what? All I see is a bed. Don't you even have a mattress? Do you have a mattress? Like, just what? It was strange. Yeah, that was a crazy experience. It was like, wow. Yeah. But ever since seeing that guy, after having the experience that happened to me in December, after that has had these series of intense meditative states. Now, they didn't last very long, but they were so intense that it would just shake. All you see is this big bright light, and everything just goes boom, and everything just implode back into place, and you're back to normal. As I'm doing my meditation, it happened over and over again throughout the 2 years after that day. You know that, yeah, just real intense stuff. It almost happened again the day after seeing him on Saturday. It almost happened on the Sunday. Like I felt it coming on, and it just didn't make the cut. It came, I was like, here it is, and it went right back. I was like, oh,
like a cosmic sneeze.
Where's Akeem when I need him?
It almost sounds like a missed call or something. Like,
yeah, like,
yeah,
oh God, I just missed this call. Oh shit. Yeah, it was like that. It was like a missed call for sure. Yeah, it was right there, and it just, I could see it, and it just went. It faded away into the darkness. So I was like, oh, okay. Yeah. Like he knew I was going to say all that stuff about Akeem. So it's like, nah, you're not ready.
Oh
man.
Oh man.
His mind is still filthy.
It just came in your mind.
What is this? This is what it feels to be, not enlightened. Just get out of his body real quick.
It's like he went into like the mind of the house of a hoarder. It's like
This is what it's like to be human. Bounce.
Stepped on some cat poop. You're just like, ah!
Get off me. Couldn't stay in my body for long. Yeah, hilarious. It's good how we're able to make humor out of this stuff. No one else can do this.
It makes it so fun.
Yeah.
Cosmic playfulness, right?
Yeah, this is our thing. Right? No one's doing this right now.
Still some growing to do.
But in the meantime, yeah, this is cool. People have been asking me to do this for years, man. Like, I don't know how to incorporate the two, put comedy and spirituality together. Like, at least in the stand-up comedy form, I was like, I don't know how to do that. But you know, I think about it in Sight Beyond Sight, our program that we were running for years. That's all we ever did. And it was fun. We had some great times.
This is brilliant. Just get on a Zoom call and just start talking.
Just start talking. And I'm gonna end up being myself anyway. And it's gonna come out eventually. Yes, like, it comes naturally. But to put it in jokes, if I could actually put it into actually written jokes, I don't know if that's hard to do, because comedy is based on things going wrong. Right? I have to find a lot of things going wrong in the past, which are things going wrong, but no one would understand if they haven't gone through them. So it's like, how do you start telling people about, you know, whatever it is? It's like, oh, my heart was pacing the other day. I thought I was going to die. People are like, okay, that's great. Well, I'm meditating. Like, what are you going to, what am I going to make out of that? So yeah, it's very, very difficult. But in a conversation, it's really, really easy.
So good.
Yeah. So Nathan's got to go to the show. Do we have anything else? I think we have stuff there. It's probably going to be some long segments.
We have like an hour and a half of like, oh, what's the word? Oh my God, I need food right now.
Yeah, I feel you. I wish this software is so terrible though. Like I'm not going to be able to bleep all the dick sucking stuff, and I might have to keep it. Do you have a way, if I send you the footage, can you bleep them out for me? Like, I may have to put it as it is. Like,
and he was how about talking to that?
Give me the bleep, bleep. Yeah, I've never put that out on virtually before. I do it all the time live, but virtually, this is all new territory. All those conferences I'm supposed to do, canceled.